So, hello, it's Beth Ann from the van. We're under the blankets today because it's only in the 60s, maybe the high 50s. I don't know. It's cold in my van, except under the blankets. So, blankets it is. And today I've been thinking about more about balance, because I always think about balance, because it's always about balance, because that's the foundation, right? The balance of things, and the balance of your infinite identity that you carry around of yourself, and your finite identity that exists in the world, right? And how do we balance those things, and what that kind of stuff means. And I started writing down notes. So if you see me looking down, it's because this is some of the stuff. And I kind of realized that being balanced for me is when you're seeking the balance between that finite and the infinite identity. Meaning that you want to make choices that most closely relate to your idealized version of your own self. And that's how these things come together. So if you kind of think about when you're seeking that balance, that's when you start realizing where your motivations come from, and how that helps your highest self make the best choices for yourself. And it's important because everything connects. Everything is connected. Everything goes together. We can't separate these two exactly, because they just, it's everything is enmeshed in everything else. It's like when I say it's like in the spaces of physical matter, because where there is matter, there is space. Because everything in nature, everything in science, is about equilibrium and balance. So when you're balanced, or when I say, oh, I'm balanced, the way that I am presenting to the world matches the way that I visualize myself and the way that I think the world perceives me, right? So when those things are most matched, that's when you are most balanced, because you're not trying to do mental gymnastics to satisfy your idealized identity with what's really going on in your life. You just know that we have this idealized identity, and the finite's got to make the choices to get to the infinite. This is vision. So if you think of wisdom, is that infinite knowledge that we carry, that's in the stardust, or the magic part of us, of existence, that exists in the breath of life, or whatever. Yeah, I am just rambling today. But because I was supposed to turn a page. Okay, so oh yeah, because I wanted to explain how these things are to me. Like when I say my infinite identity or my infinite experience, that are all the ideas, the emotions, the delusions, the thoughts, the conclusions, expectations, if you have them or live under them. All that comes within your infinite identity. And because it includes so many of these things, they all come together to kind of knit together to determine your worldview, how you view yourself, how you view others in the world, how you view society, the planet as a physical object. All these things that we think about, all the physical things, that's that meshing together of our experience, which is wisdom. Wisdom because we have the knowledge, those are the thoughts that we have, and the wisdom is the expression of that knowledge into the world. And that's why I think how progress is made, because I think that whatever it is that is the universal consciousness that we're all part of has been around for eons and eons, and going through all these different experiences in different ways, different forms, or different forms that we just may not understand, because I believe that's how vast it can be. Because if they can take something that is void and without form, and the Big Bang happens and then this happens, then that's magic, and I believe in that shit. So if you think of your infinite identity carrying all your delusions, your ideas, your conceptions, whatever, and your finite identity is all the experiences that your body has, taking in all the input and giving all the output into and out of the world. That's your finite existence, and they work together to help create your most meaningful and best life through listening to your highest self, because our highest self is always going to find the compromise between the finite and the infinite. It's going to cover both. It's going to make sure both situations are satisfied to maintain that balance, because our highest self is like the referee between our infinite and our finite self. And if you are letting the other voices in your head be louder than your highest self's voice, then your life can't be as meaningful, and it can't be, because you're missing out on half, because you're always going to make the decision between one side and the other, rather than, we all happen upon the right, balanced decision a lot of the times, but a lot of times we're just going back and forth between the two different options that we have. So I wrote this down to remind myself, because sometimes I do forget. Well, I don't forget. I do forget, but I don't forget, because, everything at all times. But it's always fucking about the infinite delusions that we carry with this idealized version of ourselves, versus the finite finite experiences that we're having in the world. And when we have contradictions in those things and conflicts, then we're on the struggle bus. So if we all start learning how to balance ourselves by recognizing our infinite identity, making choices that get us closer to that identity, then that's how things are going to change. Because people will realize, once they start getting to balance, they start realizing that everybody is the same. We're all in the same boat. We're all the same. We're all connected. We're all part of one another. We all share the same DNA. We can be traced back all the way, back to the origins. So, and once half the people realize that, then we level up. The society is more balanced. We're a more balanced, happy society that still has half on the struggle bus because of the choices that they make. They don't have a vision for their life. They make bad choices. But once half of us are elevated, then we will have the tools to lift up the others and help the others, and to help progress our society in the way that we treat each other, and our technology, and our science, and our knowledge. So, like, in our emotional well-being, like just the well-being as human beings, and it's going to hit both. It's, as we level up. So that's it. That's why I say sometimes I feel like I could be like Copernicus, because with his model of the solar system and the way that he changed how the world was viewed, like it changed modern science. Because, after Copernicus, there was Galileo, and Galileo just fucking ran with that shit. So, hopefully somewhere in these videos, somebody's going to hear something that sparks them. And they're Galileo, or they're Jesus, or Muhammad, or Buddha, or Henry Ford, Steve Jobs. We'll see. I love you. Like I love me. Thank you for watching.